I mean, I had a look at it today when we were out in the field in Bulawayo. Obviously, I think Bulawayo and Harare are pretty different. Our group games are all in Harare. But I mean, we played here for the T20 World Cup Qualifiers. And the wickets tended to be quite low and shot through quite quickly. And the training wickets are quite similar. But then also, you know, we just played Zimbabwe in 3 ODIs in Harare, and we found that it started off quite nice, and then later on in the innings it took a bit of turn and it tended to shoot a little bit lower. So that's kind of how we've been basing our preparation over the last 4 months, especially in the Netherlands, doing a lot of work against spin, our options, how proactive we are and so on in the crease. So preparation's been really good. Obviously Ryan Cook's been the leader of that and has really driven that, and we've responded, and hopefully it, you know, stands us in good stead going into the qualifiers now. Yeah, it's a loss, obviously, having those experienced guys like Freddie and Colin and Brandon and Bussy and all those guys, you know, who are playing county cricket, not available hurts. But then again, I mean, we hear it all the time, and I read it all the time, you know, how bad it is for us and how upsetting it must be. But then again, you know, it's also quite exciting because there's a lot of talent, and I feel like the guys who have come in for those boys are going to have an opportunity to showcase that talent on such a big stage. So that's the way I'd prefer to look at it, in a positive light rather than look at it negatively, because I feel like that impacts everything we do. It impacts our preparation, impacts the way we think, impacts the way we want to go into these fixtures. So for us, you know, our line of dialogue is all about how exciting it is and how ready we are to take this opportunity head on. So I'm excited to see guys who aren't used to this kind of cricket, or no, I wouldn't say aren't used to it, but who haven't had the opportunity to go out there and express themselves. Absolutely. I mean, Bussy's one of those players who can do everything. He can bat, he can bowl, he can field. So having someone like that coming in, it's massive for us. And obviously we missed him in the Zimbabwe series because, you know, he does everything. He bats at 4 and he bowls first change. So he's such an important part of our side. So yeah, can't wait to have him back. Yeah, I think obviously it was a massive win for us. There's no doubt in that. I feel like it was an interesting one because going into that game, we weren't. I mean, it wasn't. I feel like in the past maybe the wins the Netherlands have had at World Cups have, I wouldn't say flukes, but they were, you know, the opposition would have had to do something quite bad in order for us to win. And that might sound a bit harsh, and I'm sure past players will probably disagree and they'll say what I'm about to say now, but I just feel like when we played that game, it just felt like we just did what we did well, and it's not like South Africa had a terrible game, we just played better. So that just showcases that gap is getting smaller between those nations. And of course, you know, if we play South Africa 9 out of 10 times, they're probably going to come out on top, but it's not, I think, the same as it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. So that's promising. But yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, that booking a spot into the next World Cup is huge for us. It gives us guaranteed cricket and something to really work towards, because obviously without the Super League now, it's kind of, I mean, after these qualifiers, we have no cricket. I don't know when our next Dutch game will be. So that just, you know, being able to say that we're going to a World Cup next year is massive for us, and hopefully we can go to a World Cup in October this year. But yeah, fingers crossed, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was an amazing day for sure. I think I gained about 10,000 followers on Twitter within 8 hours from Pakistanis. So that was amazing. They're such a cool fan base, similar to the Indians. Indian fan base, Pakistani fan base, Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan. You know, I played in the BPL earlier this year. No, what was it? Yeah, last year. Sorry, end of last year. No, earlier this year. It was January. I can't even. It's been
BPL. It was January.
BPL. So that was amazing, and the fans there, you know, the subcontinent cricket fans. It's like that's a religion, you know, and something that we don't experience that often. But yeah, Pakistani fans, they were all over it. They loved us. And even now, like, I think we were trying to get some new clothing from Grey Nichols, and the manufacturer was in Pakistan, and they said, we'll do whatever the Dutch cricket team needs. We'll help them. So camo's been huge in my career. I mean, I dealt with Camo was my coach when he first took over in, I think, 2018. And yeah, he kind of molded me into the player that I am now, and we've tinkered things as we've gone along. Obviously, my technique is quite unique, and people see the high backlift in Camo. I think initially tried to come in and change it, and rather than changing it, he kind of adapted his style of coaching to help me become better, which was awesome. So a lot of my performances and I guess career is comes down to, you know, the way he's helped me and the way he's been able to drill me into certain situations and so on. So I'm very happy to see him do extremely well at Durham. I think they're smashing it at the moment. So no, it's been awesome. Well, I live with Scotty, so I've lived with Scotty for the last 5 years, so I know him very well. So I understand what makes him tick and what makes him angry. And I think a lot of the other guys who are in the squad know the same things as well. So because, you know, he's quite a young guy, or he's a young leader, he leads by example, and he leads by the things he does, which is most important. He prepares well, his processes are very strong. He doesn't really take any shortcuts, and I guess if you look at someone, he'll say one thing and he'll do that thing. You know, he's not going to say one thing and do another thing, so you know that you can trust him, which is massive. And him and Ryan Cook, I call them the brothers because they're always together and they pretty much look the same. They're always working together on how we can defeat plan A and B and so on, and we have meetings left, right and centre, which I think are great. So no, he's been awesome, and I think he's a great captain for the side going forward. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, I think it's a massive disappointment. I just think that it's such a good thing for us to have played in that league. You know, we've learned so much, and we've grown so much within a year and a half of playing that high level cricket. I think for sure when we first started, it was a bit of a shock because it's a massive difference, you know, taking that step up to that next level. It's a big difference, but we started to find our feet towards the end of it, I think. Like I remember playing, who was it? I played the first ODI against the West Indies in May in Amsterdam. I remember seeing, you know, the West Indian boys. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is, you know, how cool is this? I'm facing Alzari Joseph, you know, all these guys are playing. This is amazing. And then I've just played my last game in the pink day at the Wanderers against South Africa, and it was like, oh, right, well, there's just another ODI. I'll just go and do what I do. And that's at the end of the day, I'm sure most professional cricketers will tell you that if you believe in yourself and if you've got that confidence in your ability, you're 90% of the way there, and the other 10% will go with it. So for us, it is really disappointing that we don't have that high level cricket anymore. Or the highest level of cricket, I should say, because obviously I'm sure we'll go into World Cricket League 2 and we'll have to play our fellow associates in Scotland, Nepal, and so on, UAE, which is still a great standard, but it's not obviously not the same as, you know, playing the biggest countries in the world in front of big crowds with big pressures, big expectations, and so on. So we'll be sorely missed, and hopefully the ICC can find another way to get us involved, because at the moment, it feels like we're just getting pushed further down the pecking order.